Hello Yellow class, welcome to week 6 of our home learning. Those of you who are really observant may have noticed that I've come into red class today. That's because the laptop in my classroom isn't working. So I'm hoping that this one will work for me today. So I'm going to run through what I'd like you to do on Monday. So we're going to start off with our speed sounds. So pause the video, run through those, try to do some out of order. Right, our tricky words for this week, we've got the word move, M-O-V-E, move. And we've got a little family of words this week, so we've got then the word prove, P-R-O-V-E. Can you prove you didn't do that? Improve, now remember it's improve, not improve. I-M-P-R-O-V-E, improve. And then we've got the word parents, P-A-R-E-N-T-S, parents. So those are our tricky words for this week. Today you have got your long I sound. We're revising the long I and we're looking at the I-G-H. We're looking at that vowel trigraph which tends to come in the middle of words. This is a phase 3 sound, so if you go on Phonics Play, have a look for some of those phase 3 activities and you will find the long I in there. On your sheet you have got some words, have a go at reading them, have a go at spelling them, and if you can, see if you can spell some other words that have got that vowel trigraph in them. You've got spelling shed, so Mrs. Welling will have put some long I spelling activities onto there for you, and there will also be our tricky words on there as an activity. If you can, try to play the activity that matches up to the sound that we've been learning for that day. Guided reading, we're thinking about clarity. So clarity is when you try to make an understanding of something that you've read. You try to make sense of it for yourself. So today's question is what has happened? So that's you retelling to somebody the events that have happened in the text that you have read. So it's drawing out that information and for you to think back, oh, what do I know has happened from what I've read? So maths today, we're going to start off with the 2 times table, so we'll recite them all the way through. I'm going to leave them up today. In the future we'll start taking them off so that we're doing them from memory. Are we ready? 1, 2 is, 2 2s are, 3 2s are, 4 2s are, 5 2s are, 6 2s are, 7 2s are, 8 2s are, 9 2s are, 10 2s are. Well done. Let's see if we can do them out of order. 2 2s, 5 2s, 7 2s, 3 2s, 10 2s, 8 2s, 1 2. Well done. You can get someone to play that with you at home if you need a little bit more time. Today we are thinking about fractions. Now fractions are parts of a whole. So you start off with something that is whole and we cut it into different parts, and that is fractions. So if we were thinking about a pizza, we can have one whole pizza. So that's one pizza. We can cut that into different fractions, and today we are looking at 3 different fractions. Okay, we are looking at a fraction. Now when you're drawing your fractions later on, you are going to make sure that you use a ruler. I don't have a ruler I can use on here, but you need to make sure you've got one that you use. So we're thinking about a fraction called a half. A half is written like this, okay? So what we've got at the top here, it tells you that you've got one part, and it tells you that your whole you have split into 2. This is called the denominator. So the number at the bottom tells you how many to split something into. So this tells me I'm going to split my pizza into 2, and I want one of these. So I shade that, and that is 1/2. Okay? So if I had another pizza and I was looking at this fraction here, now this one's got another special name. So this is a half. This one is called a quarter. and it tells us at the bottom here we're going to split this pizza into 4 pieces. We're going to split it into 4 and 1/4. We've just got one of those. That is 1/4 of that pizza. The other fraction that we're going to be looking at today is this fraction here, which is called thirds. Well remembered. So you've got your pizza. Now this is a bit more tricky. We have to think about thirds, don't we? So I come down to the middle and then try to come out at each side. And then we're going to shade in one of them because we are looking at 1/3. So these are the fractions we're thinking about today. We have looked at fractions before, so try to remember what we did. And that really special word, each of these parts needs to be equal. Well done. When we're thinking about fractions, it's similar to when we were dividing the other week. Each of these parts has to be equal. That's why splitting a circle into thirds is a bit tricky, because you have to work it out. I probably haven't done that quite perfectly, and I'd have to use a special tool called a protractor to help me do that. But thirds, we're looking at cutting it into 3, quarters is 4, and halves we're cutting into 2. In your pack today, you have got a set of shapes, and I'd like you to have a go at splitting these shapes into half, thirds, and quarters, and to shade in, because it says 1/2, 1/3, 1/4. So just shade in each of those. Just watch your thirds on the circle. The hexagon you can actually do, but you have to be a little bit clever with that one. So try the hexagon. Don't worry if they're not exactly equal. We know that you know they should be, but do the best that you can. With the square and the oblong, think about how you're going to do your thirds, because what we do to the circle may not be the same for these, because you might need to be thinking about cutting it into 3 sort of chunks or slices rather than splitting the whole up quite like we do. That doesn't work for the square and the oblong. Okay, so thinking about fractions today. Now, we're going to be thinking a little bit about Chinese New Year, because towards the end of the week is actually Chinese New Year. Now this year is the year of the ox. Okay, so today we are going to be looking at an image of an ox, and what I'd like you to do is think about some adjectives, how you would describe the ox, and you are going to write a description of that ox, and I want you to remember to use those adjectives when you are describing him. So as we can see, you might want to stop on this picture, it might be a bit clearer for you. We can see he's got some sharp horns. I wonder how else we could describe them. Oh, that's a good word, they're bendy. And if we look at his fur, oh, it is quite long. We might say that he looks a bit fluffy. Sometimes a fur like this, you might actually describe it as a word. You might say he's got shaggy fur, a bit like Shaggy out of Scooby-Doo. You might say he's got shaggy fur. Oh, I wonder how his nose feels. Do you think his nose might feel a bit wet? I think his nose might feel wet, mightn't it? And I think his fur probably feels quite soft. Don't know. So think of some words that you can use to describe him, and then on the next page I'd like you to write a little description of an ox. So you might put a title at the top, you might just write the word ox, and then you might write the ox has got 2, and that, I have to remember that's the number 2, has got 2 short, bendy horns. Full stop. Okay, so I've done my sentence. Now my adjectives are the important bit that we wanted today. So thinking about those adjectives, I've got the word short and I've got the word bendy. Oh, I could have put an adjective in front of the ox, couldn't I? I could have maybe said, oh, what about the friendly ox? Could have put a word in there to describe the ox. Could have said the friendly ox has got 2 short bendy horns. Think about how you're going to describe them today. Have a really good go at that, and I'll see you this afternoon. Take care for now. Bye.